So to our next match on court, and it features the European champion, the beaten finalist from a week ago, Tine Baun of Denmark, number 8 seed here at the Indonesian Open. Her opponent from Japan, Ayane Kurihara. Kurihara, just 21 years of age, there she is. Ayane Kurihara. Who, in her first round, defeated an Indonesian player, Maria Phoebe Kusumastuti. 2 straight games. Tine Baun had a much harder first round encounter against Sang Jae-hyun. 3 games, 21-18, 19-21, 21-12 in the decider. 2 minutes shy of the hour mark, that first round match for Tine Baun. Well, Tine Baun, 2 previous appearances here at the Indonesian Open, and it hasn't been her most successful tournament, has to be said. In 2007, she lost in the last 16, 2008 in the last 32. Both times, she had to withdraw injured in the middle of a match. But here, the 21-year-old against a 31-year-old. Tine Baun will turn 32 next month, 21st of July to be precise. Twice an All-England champion, the tall Dane. In fact, reached 3 consecutive All-England finals, one in 2008 and 2010. Lost the final to Wang Yihan of China in 2009. Bronze medalist at the World Championships last year, Tine Baun, as we look at our umpire, Eddie Rufianto of Indonesia, and Grace Chia from Singapore, service judge. So for Kurihara from Japan, 2 titles last year, but Tine Baun, world ranking gone up 3 places from last week to number 6 in the world. 14-5 win-loss record, and she's been struggling with injury problems this year, which is why she couldn't defend her All-England title. And as I was saying just a moment ago, 3 tough games lasting 58 minutes in her first round encounter against the Korean Sang Jae-hyun. So her opponents, Ayane Kurihara, 27 in the world rankings, up 1 place from a week ago. And played very well indeed against Maria Phoebe Kusumastuti of Indonesia. A couple of titles for her last year, and just 1 final this year. The German Grand Prix Gold event, unseeded, reached the final. Lost out to Liu Xin in 3 games. So, seeing glimpses of talent from this young Japanese player. And I guess, Ian, this just really emphasises your point that a number of young Japanese players, both men and women, emerging onto the world scene, and they're going to be a real force to be reckoned with. And this is one of the players who I think could be very exciting indeed.
Yes, and it's always easier when there's a group, and they've got 3 or 4 at the moment coming through together. They'll be pushing each other and feeding off each other's results, and This girl's just another example of that. She's a very, very competitive player. Not a great amount of experience, to be honest. New to this level of tournament, but really starting to acquit herself very, very well at this level. This will be another good test for her today.
Players get ready.
Yes, in fact, in her 5 previous Super Series events this year, Kurihara has lost in the first round of all 5 of them.
Yeah, it's a step up in level Super Series from last year. Last year she was playing really mainly challenger tournaments, a couple of levels down. But she started to come through and win 1 or 2 of those at the end of last year and stepped up to Super Series this year. And yeah, she's found it tough, but she's played some close matches. She's not been outclassed, that's for sure. And yesterday that was a very competent performance against the home player.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Tine Baun, Denmark. And on my left, Ayane Kurihara, Japan. Tine Baun to serve, level, play.
So the European champion, Tine Baun, getting this second round match underway against Ayane Kurihara of Japan. Oh, that's a lovely shot.
1 now.
Good to see her back on the badminton court, Ian, because the injury problems that this tall Dane has had over the years have really been quite horrendous, including a ruptured Achilles tendon at the Sudirman Cup back in 2005.
2 love.
Yes, and she's had a couple of niggling injuries this year already. But I did feel with in Sudirman Cup, where she had a run of matches, she started to regain a little bit of confidence. She started that week lacking confidence, I would say, but as the week went on, she started to look more like her old self, and that was backed up last week by a good performance in Singapore, of course.
Yes, where in the semi-final she beat the current world #1, Wang Shoshian, in 2 straight games. Lost in the final to Wang Xin, but it was a good performance.
And confidence is a real key to Tina's game. She's an attacking player. She likes to play aggressively. That's her character. And when she is low on confidence, she doesn't go for the shots that are her best shots very often. She tends to play a little bit tentatively, and that's really not her game. That's not her strength.
Well, as far as the Japanese youngster is concerned, I mean, you were saying that she was playing more challenger events last year and Grand Prix events, but the fact that she went out and played those events, in fact, she only played 6 international tournaments last year, but won 2 of them. The Russian Grand Prix Gold event, beating Ella Deal, the very experienced Russian #1 women's singles player, in the final, and also won the Malaysian International Challenge event in Sabah. So, you know, having played those events, she's got some results. Presumably she will have some confidence, having had tournament victories. You know, I think sometimes in Europe, perhaps some of the bigger badminton nations in Europe, they tend to perhaps send their players out to these major Super Series events when quite young, and they don't get the experience of learning how to win early on, whereas these Japanese players have.
Yeah, and it's become fairly standard practice for the Japanese players over the last 5 or 6 years that the young players go out and play the lower level senior tournaments, and they have to learn how to win. They have to come through those events before they're put up to the next level, and it's a great learning ground.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one thing learning how to play badminton, it's another thing learning how to win.
Yeah. Just wide. Learning to deal with the pressure situations was exemplified in the last match we witnessed with Bao Chunlai. Tight situations, had his chances, you know, and made, you know, I don't wish to sound terribly harsh, but poor choices and poor errors. Oh, that's a lovely shot.
Yeah, but this level, I mean,
Service over.
there would be differences in level of experience, but on the whole, they'll all be physically well prepared and have a good technique and a good sound understanding of the game. But it comes down to the decision making, making the right choice at the right time. And as you say, that's something you need to learn as well. And to do that, you need to play a lot of matches, and you need to get out there, you need to compete and learn how to deal with a variety of situations, you know, in different conditions.
Five.
Well, it's amazing the contrast in atmosphere now that the Taufik Hidayat match has been completed, and sadly some of the crowd have disappeared. Maybe they've gone to all the vendors outside the Astora Stadium, because there's plenty for the spectators to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of distractions out in the badminton village at this tournament. It's great to see a tournament putting that sort of effort and thought into it.
Absolutely.
All sorts of different games and different badminton animations. Big photographs everywhere of all the old Indonesian legends. There's a really nice atmosphere out there, but unfortunately it's detracting a little bit from the atmosphere in the hall.
Yeah.
For this match anyway, but I mean, I would think half the crowd are worn out after the last match, the amount of effort they put into supporting Taufik.
Yeah.
Play.
Oh, well controlled. Good rally. Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't like the look of that.
No, she definitely, I don't think she actually went over on the ankle, but she definitely jammed the ankle into the floor.
Yes, and
She didn't roll it completely, but it definitely jarred it.
yeah, and that one was definitely wide, no question of that.
But a very good rally from the Japanese player, just starting to work her way into this game. Had the confidence to try some different drop shots, some cuts and some slower drops, and then the smash. Just working her way nicely into the match now.
Well, we've already mentioned the injury woes that Tine Baun has had in recent months. Of course, now married to the Danish team physio.
Yeah, interestingly, both of Tina's ankles are actually strapped for this game as well. Yeah, we can see it from there. Both ankles strapped. So that will have given her a little bit of a fright when she jammed into the floor like that.
Yes,
So
and,
it's over.
you know, I don't know
9-6.
whether you believe in jinxes, but of course the last two Indonesian Opens that Tine Baun has contested, she's had to withdraw partway through the match due to injury problems.
Yeah, it's surprising to me that Tina's not got a good record in this hall, because it's one of the quicker halls, favours the attacking players normally, and Tina likes to be aggressive in her shot selection, likes to take the initiative. I would imagine that this hall would normally suit her very well.
Yeah.
10-6.
Yes, and I think it does, in all honesty, but you know, you can't control injury problems if they occur. You can notice that her elbow seems to be strapped as well. Yeah, wear and tear of years on the world circuit for a 31-year-old. But a 5-point advantage at the mid-game interval.
Yeah, good touch at the net there. Stepping in, taking the shuttle really early, good extension with the arm, reaching out, taking it early. Good touch.
7 minutes of play. And 11-6 lead. Well, Tine Baun, of course, former world #1. First reached that status on the 6th of November 2008.
Court 1, 20 seconds.
2 weeks
Court
at
1,
world number 1
20
there.
seconds.
Again in February 2009.
Players get ready.
And then last year in December of world number 1. Whizzed up from number 5 to number 1 in the world. And then a week later was back down at number 5 again.
Ayane.
Didn't get a good image of it there, Jill, but one of the nice things about this game is both the coaches that came out onto the court, both female coaches,
Play.
both ex-players, and it's nice to see some of the ex-top female players now going that coaching route. It's been a little bit male-orientated, the coaching around this level of badminton for a number of years. It's good to see some female coaches out there.
That's just wide, and I know you personally, when you were England head coach, you worked very hard on a programme to get more and more female coaches involved and more experienced.
Yeah, we had a programme to train up young English female coaches through some Women in Sport funding that UK Sport had, and I think they're very good. It's a very good programme, and I know more and more countries are starting to look at this, and it's good. You know, sometimes female coaches will bring a different perspective and a different angle to things, and their experience themselves as players can give you a real edge on your programme.
Yeah, absolutely, and with two such wonderful former players on the coaching bench. One Asian Games gold medalist, Ayane Kurihara, in the women's singles, and of course for Denmark, Ulrika Olsen, who's World Championship medalist in women's doubles. 4th in the Olympic Games, if I remember correctly, in the mixed doubles. Bronze medalist.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jill. I think I would view her as one of the unluckiest Olympic players badminton's ever had. Three losing semi-finals, I think. 2 mixed and 1 ladies doubles. Is that right, Jill?
Certainly, she's always been there or thereabouts. There's no question of that.
Yeah. Certainly, she lost medal matches in both Sydney and Athens.
15-7.
Sydney with Michael Sogor, and Athens with Jonas Rasmussen in mixed doubles. It's a lovely angle, isn't it? She plays that so well, does Tine Baun. Oh, it's landed in.
I think in Sydney as well, she had match points in both the semi-final and the bronze medal match, I think, as well.
Well, Kurihara doesn't like the call.
Tina's really settled into a good rhythm in this match now. Found her range, hitting with good precision.
That's landed in.
So it's over. 8-60. Yes. Hurry up.
For Eddie Orofianto, the umpire, allowing Kurihara to tell down. I'm quite surprised about that.
It's one of the more humid halls on the circuit, though. You tend to get a lot of interruptions of play for wiping the court clean.
That's a clever smash from Tine Baun.
So it's over.
Use of the body smash, just slightly across the body.
She's playing with good confidence. I think she's realised Japanese girl hasn't really got any weapons to really hurt her or surprise her with. Japanese girl working really hard, but there's no real killer shots here.
So it's over. 9.
Similar style, I guess, to Hiroshi, who reached the All England final this year. Very good worker on court, very consistent, good range of shots, but as you say, no real killer weapon.
No, and hasn't quite yet developed that physical presence that Hirosa's got on the court. Not quite as physically imposing on the court, but probably a slightly better technique, I would say. Interesting, we saw it in the match before with Tafiq leaving a lot of shuttles at the end that Tina's playing now that landed in. I think it's pretty clear that conditions have changed from yesterday. Players being caught out a little bit from this end with the shuttle just holding up a little bit.
Service over, 10-18.
Yeah, super angle.
Yeah, good play. Tina just pushing the shuttle into the rear court, keeping her opponents off balance and then using the space.
19-10.
Good control play.
Oh yeah, we've seen that a couple of times, haven't we? That's a super shot.
Service over, 11-19.
Good technique, gets behind the shuttle early, cuts across the shuttle, brings it down steeply.
Service over, 20, game point 11.
9 game points now to Tine Baun.
Yeah, that's clearly the favourite.
Service over, 12-20.
Plays it well, but I'm sure we'll see during the second game that Tina will start to read it. It's an opponent I think Tina's not played against before, so just being caught a little bit with that cross slice at the moment, but I'm sure she'll start to pick it up as the game progresses.
Yes, it is their first meeting. Oh yes, just outmanoeuvring her opponents, controlling the rally, and there you can see the strapping on the right elbow there.
21-12.
European champion. Very well constructed rally. Very controlled opening game. 21-12. And there's Rika Olsen applauding her player. Just 16 minutes required. Well, you were saying that because Tine Baun hasn't played against her opponent of today previously, she'll be learning and starting to anticipate shots. I guess she probably hasn't seen a lot of her either, because, of course, as you were mentioning, last year, Kurihara actually playing the different level of tournaments, the development level with the Grand Prix events and also the Challenger events. And therefore, she won't have had time not only to play against her, but she hasn't had time to study her.
No, she won't have seen a lot of her. I'm sure the Japanese will know a lot more about Tina than the Danes will know about the Japanese girl. So yeah, certainly at the beginning of the game, Tina was just feeling her way into the game, but she looks a lot more confident to me than a couple of months ago. It was interesting in that last point there. Several times the Japanese girl played very good slow drops and cut drops. Tina was confident going into that deep lunge position, which I felt at the beginning of the year she was a little bit nervous, a little bit hesitant going into those deep lunges. And there she looks to be moving with a lot more confidence than certainly 6 to 8 weeks ago. I think that is the benefit maybe of the team competition, Sudirman Cup. Got some matches under her belt, got some confidence. Won some matches as well, which is also important.
Yes, undefeated in the Sudirman Cup campaign. Tine Baun.
Second game, level play.
So, having taken the opening game, 21-12, the European champion gets the second game underway, but immediately makes an error.
Service over, 1 love.
And another.
With the slower shots, I mean, look, there is such a marked difference in speed from the two ends that it does have an effect on your shots as well and your timing a little bit as well. Sometimes you're better when you change ends to put a little bit of pace on the shuttle just to start to make sure you've got your timing.
Well, she doesn't like the call, but no overrule from the umpire. Oof, no, I thought that was out. I thought it was a correct call by the line judge. It was desperately close, but I think it was right. Well, this is a very good start to the second game from Ayane Kurihara.
Made the mistake there, but Tina just a little bit short. That lift was a good metre and a half short. Again, an example of the difference of the speeds of the two ends. See here, she intercepts that shuttle quite early on the cut. Be quite disappointed to have made a mistake with that.
Just like that cross-court net shot from the backhand side, Tine Baun, doesn't she?
Yeah, one of the favourite options. When she takes it early, it's a very hurtful shot.
Oh goodness, that's way, way long.
And again, all part of the learning experience of playing in the bigger halls. That's gone a metre long. Not adapting to the change of ends.
Five straight points. Short. Yeah, got what it deserved. Sent up by the tight spinning neck shot.
5-all.
Oh yeah, there's the power, there's the weapon that you were talking about in the opening game. She is, I mean, one of her real strengths, Tine Baun, is her physical strength, her physicality.
Yeah, absolutely. She generates very good power overhead. Not only that, technically she got good technique and she hits with good precision as well. You know, she when she hits down the line, it comes a little bit quicker than most of the girls expect, and she's one of the players that really can get into the Chinese players when she's on her game, when she gets that attacking game going. She can really upset the rhythm of the top Chinese players.
Yeah. But presumably part of her power is generated by this really exaggerated turn of the shoulders with the overhead shot. So you can see it quite clearly there. That's good play from Kurihara.
It's a little bit unusual, but I mean, when you watch her play, a lot of the girls have a lot of problem picking the straight and the cross with that exaggerated turn. She picks up a lot of shots from that, a lot of points from that forehand corner.
Oh, that's brilliant, that shot.
Yeah, good net.
So the over. 8-6.
Yeah, so tight. Well, that was good positional play from Tine Baun, because she was really threatening the net. She was standing her ground, hovering there, and I think that sheer positional play, well, unfortunately we don't see it from that, but I think that's what forced her opponent into error. Yeah, she was under real pressure in that rally, Tine Baun. And I think, Ian, one of the things that I really like about this tall Dane is her ability to get out of trouble, and her willingness, if she is in trouble, just to put in the high shot to give herself time to get back to her base position in the centre of court to almost restart the rally again.
Yes, I mean, she's got a vast amount of experience now, and until the injuries came back a little bit in the last 12 months ago, she had a lot of confidence as well playing the top Chinese players. As you say, she's got a great attacking game down the line. She's got the variety with the steep cross slices, but also she uses that punch clear very well down the lines as well to keep her opponents off balance. She plays with a very nice mix, and as you say, she's not scared to lift high and go into a defensive position either. So she's got good variety in her game.
Oh, she's crossed herself for making the error.
Yeah, didn't need to be that tight. She'd got her opponent all off balance. It's just that example. Her opponents are worried about that straight power smash, and that creates a lot of space for that cross clip drop that she just missed there.
Just long. Once again, Tine Baun isn't altogether convinced by the call. But once again, I thought it was a correct call. So it is indeed the European champion, Tine Baun, who has the advantage at the mid-game interval. But just a 2-point advantage. Had been 10-6 up. And as far as Kurihara is concerned, the fact that she's closed the margin to just 2 points will be a huge psychological boost. Talked about that with the previous match, didn't we, Ian, about psychologically it's just so good if you're within touching distance, really, at the mid-game interval.
20 seconds.
Yeah, no, the Japanese girl, she's kept her work rate very high. Tina just guilty of making 1 or 2 errors, just forcing the play a little bit. But I still feel Tina's well in control of this game.
Play.
Oh, that's a clever return of serve. Held the shot to the last moment, flicked it over Tine Baun's head. That's good length. Just inside the back line there. More aggression in that rally. I wonder if the coaches have said, come on, you've got to start really dictating the pace, commanding the rallies, take your chances.
Yeah, it looks as though she's come out to have a go in this. After the coaching break, second half of this second game. Nothing to lose. Time to get a bit more aggressive, maybe.
Robisova, 13-11.
Yeah, good attack.
Robisova.
There was the example of Tina throwing up the high clear you were talking about, but just a little bit short. Shuttle just holding up a little bit from this end, giving the Japanese chance to get well behind the shuttle and hit with precision the cross smash.
The cross-court backhand net shot once again. Taking it early, it really does put so much pressure on opponents. Kurihara has done well here, because I felt after the mid-game interval, I thought perhaps Tine Baun would just run away with this. I thought that, in fact, you said, I think that she's still very much in control of the match, and I felt that too, and I just expected her to really run away with this, but she hasn't been allowed to.
No, Japanese girls come out, very aggressive. Smashed a little bit more than she had been doing previously in the match, and she's had some good results with it. But I still feel Tina's in control. I have to say, I think Tina's still in control. I think it's Tina dictating the pace of the match. She's trying one or two different things out as well, trying to work the haul out a little bit with getting the length right from both ends.
Yeah. But of course, it's perhaps playing on her mind that she hasn't won a title for over a year. Her last title won was the European Championships in Manchester last April, I think it was. But, you know, there's reasons why she hasn't been winning titles, and that's the injury problems that she's had. So I don't know, how much does that play on a player's mind?
Here, I don't think it will be at all. I think maybe if she gets through to the final, she'll be thinking about it, but at the moment, she's always very professional in her preparation, Tina, and she'll have broken the tournament down one match at a time.
Yeah.
She won't be looking ahead. She'll want to get this match out of the way and then look at the next one. And she's got a very, very good approach to her preparation, and I don't think she'll be thinking about winning this tournament yet.
No. Very fair point. Of course, we already know that the winner of this match will play against the two-time defending champion, Saina Nehwal of India, in the quarter-final. Yeah, it's landed in. Good lift. Yeah, way in.
Yeah, you just have the feeling that it's not consistent at the moment, is it? The drift in the hall. It's a little bit variable.
Oh, super rally from Kurihara.
15-16.
Yeah, good pressure, created the space, and then got in and took the shuttle very early to utilise it.
There's the backhand cross-court net shot once again, and once again success.
17-15.
There it is. It's a beautiful shot, and she immediately moves to look for the straight net reply.
Play.
And she knew immediately that her full lunge in the net shot, it wasn't going to go over.
Yeah, all off balance when she's trying to hit that shot. Very difficult.
Well, the umpire, Eddie Orofianto, just having a word. Taking too much time? What was the problem?
His comment was, don't delay the game. I think that was a little bit harsher to say. The game's been played in good spirit. There's been no obvious gamesmanship, I don't think.
No.
But again, you have to admire the young Japanese girl. She's made one or two errors, but she's sticking with it. She's still in it. Just hanging on.
That's a beautiful shot from Tine Baun.
Yeah, she's worked it out, hasn't she, this end now? She's worked out she can hit a little bit quicker into these back corners. She's using it to good effect. And again, as I say, I'm sure she's looking at those types of things for tomorrow's game now. She will be starting to think at 1916, you know, how do I make best use of the conditions? Certainly she started this game playing very short. She's worked that out, worked it through. And starting to read that side drift as well.
20, match point 60.
4 match points now for Tine Baun. Only needed the one. 21-12, 21-16 margin of victory for the number 8 seed, Tine Baun of Denmark. Now becoming the young Japanese player, Ayane Kurihara. But I'm sure Kurihara is a player we'll see a lot more of.
21-12, 21-16. Thank you.
Perhaps a little lack of experience in these tight situations. But as you were saying, Ian, nice technique. And when she gets a little more physical strength in her style of play, there you could see Tine Baun absolutely delighted. And their confirmation, 21-12, 21-16 in 37 minutes. So Tine Baun safely through to the quarter-final tomorrow, where she will play the two-time defending champion Saina Nehwal of India. This is the moment of victory. And a delight for the Dane as she secures her victory and will appear tomorrow in her first ever Indonesian quarter-final. That means that she's gone further in this year's competition than she ever has done previously in this particular event. So the conclusion of that women's singles, as we look at some of the highlights, means that we've got one more match left this afternoon. Round of last 16. Last 16 of all 5 disciplines played today. And there's confirmation of the quarter-final matchup. Tine Baun, the number 8 seed, against the number 4 seed, Saina Nehwal. Top half of the draw, of course, and the big sensation from the top half of the draw is the fact that the world number 1, Wang Shixian, has been beaten by Qin Xiaoxie of Taipei, 21-15, 21-17.